Don't ever forget.
Don't ever forget that on November 18, in the year 1963, push-button telephones were introduced into service for the first time. The first telephones were considered to be speaking telegrams, and they were far from the style of current models. Coming after operated mediated telephones, rotary dial phones became popular by the late 1800s. These models, however, took a long time to operate. Bell Telephone invented the first push-button telephone in 1941, but these early prototypes did not enter the commercial market until 2 decades later. Push-button phones are phones that use buttons to dial numbers and connect to another telephone user and were the fancy alternatives to rotary dial phones. Using dial tone multi-frequency or DTMF technology provided touch-tone service that would become the worldwide standard for telecommunication signaling. The system uses audible tones for each of the digits on the push-button keypad, with specific frequencies assigned to each row and column. When a button is pressed, the dial generates a combination signal of the two frequencies, hence the name dual-tone multi-frequency signaling. The tones are decoded by a switching center to determine which key was pressed. Rotary dial telephones used pulse dialing, in which a direct current local loop circuit was rapidly connected and disconnected according to a defined coding system for each digit. Operators were required to make long-distance calls. With touch-tone dialing, customers could dial a destination telephone number directly without having to talk to a telephone operator. The first touch-tone telephone was the Western Electric Model 1500, which had 10 buttons. Engineers tested 15 different keypad layouts before settling on the modern configuration with 1 at the top left and 0 in the bottom row. The hashtag and asterisk keys were added to possibly be used to access computers through telephone lines. Mechanical switches were used in the keypad to select different taps on the tuned coils, and the microphone was disconnected when a key was pressed so noise wouldn't interfere with the DTMF tones being transmitted. The idea for push-button telephones actually predated the invention of the rotary dial. But even after the successful introduction of the touch-tone system, it took a while for it to catch on. It wasn't until the 1980s that the push-button telephones were in the majority in homes in the United States. Don't ever forget that the Bell system was the first to offer the technology to the public, and push-button phones appeared first in the towns of Carnegie and Greensburg in Pennsylvania. Today, the introduction of the cell phones and touchscreens have made push-button phones obsolete. And don't ever forget that. And don't ever forget to subscribe and like, and also push that notification bell.
Don't ever forget.